What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Statman here to give you a quick rundown of this Saturday's main card for UFC 290 for International Fight Week. Definitely excited to see all 5 of these fights. Of course, starting out with Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn. Supposed to be Nickel versus Trey Gore. Unfortunately, Gore revealed yesterday he had a torn ligament in his wrist, had to pull out. Woodburn steps up on 4 days' notice to fight a 3-time former NCAA champion out of Penn State in Nickel. Definitely excited to see how Nickel can improve his game and keep moving forward. The most exciting prospect, or the most popular prospect for sure, in the UFC right now. So it's interesting to see where he goes from here. Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's never in a boring fight. If you know anything about fighting, anything about UFC and MMA, Dan Hooker's always going to be one to watch. Jalen Turner, 5 of his last 6 fights have been victories, only losing a split decision this past March. Looking forward to see how he bounces back from that. Former middleweight champion Bobby Whitaker, whose only losses since 2014 has been to the current champion Israel Adesanya against Dricus du Plessis, a newly minted top 5 fighter in the UFC middleweight division. Of course, we're looking forward to this fight, especially because it's a title eliminator. So the winner is going to face Adesanya hopefully later this year. And especially with du Plessis, who has allegedly been fighting with a busted nose and now has full use of his nostrils and can breathe properly. Very excited to see how he, fights, I guess, I don't know if any sort of different or more effectively, of course, because, his first 5 fights in the UFC have been all wins, 4 of them by stoppage. Now he's stepping up against competition, against a former champion. Very excited to see. Co-main event, first of 2 title fights, this one in the 125-pound class, flyweight champion Brandon Moreno against Alexandre Pantoja. Moreno, of course, coming off his quadrilogy fight, against Davison Figueiredo. First Mexican-born champion in UFC history. Very excited for that. One of 3 Mexican-born champions currently in the UFC, along with main eventer for this card, Rodriguez, and new women's flyweight, champion Alexa Grasso. Moreno, tough as nails, very good hand speed, very good footwork, very excited as a fighter. One of the, of course, nicest guys you could ever meet. But Pantoja, a guy he's lost to twice already, unfortunately. Only one of those actually counted against his record because one of them was on the season of Ultimate Fighter that they both were on. But Pantoja, very dangerous, heavy-handed himself, legit black belt, very scary submission game that he could definitely stop the fight with at any moment. Going to be very dangerous early, of course, when they're both not, they're not too sweaty, not too slicked up. Pantoja gets a hold of you early, it could be dangerous for sure and get you out of there quick, even for a champion like Moreno. Of course, then the main event, the featherweight unification belt between Volkanovski, the current champion, and the interim champion Yair Rodriguez. Very excited for this fight. Volkanovski has a no-stop kind of motor to him, with heavy hands and that never say die attitude that will put you out or die himself, trying for sure. Rodriguez has some of the most creative offense I've ever seen. Definitely one of my favorite knockouts I've ever seen against Korean Zombie, with that backwards uppercut elbow or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know what to do to describe it. I don't know what to say to describe it. But definitely looking forward to this fight because the pressure that Rodriguez can put on with his creativity is something that Volkanovski is known for, just kind of stifling in a sense and just kind of figuring out the way to get inside and put his own offense to work. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing this fight. Can't wait. Break it down a little bit further later, of course, and give you my predictions later this week. So please be on the lookout for that and anything else, of course, from Legacy Sports Network. Later.